We're joined by Ashish Panjabi, Chief Operating Officer at Jacky's group of companies. Jacky's, of course, has taken on the possibilities of the Metro. It's just opened a Jacky's Express in the walkway between the Mall of the Emirates and the Mall of the Emirates Metro station. Ashish, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, Brandy. Good to be here.
So what have you seen in your Metro store in the 4 or 5 days since the Metro was opened?
Well, I mean, we've seen obviously a lot of traffic. I mean, we've all seen the figures that the RTA have been talking about in terms of the Metro traffic that's been there. And especially on opening day, when His Highness Sheikh Mohammed was there, it was pandemonium. I mean, we saw people coming into the store from all sorts of angles because we were obviously between the mall and the Metro over there. And it's been great for us because we've changed the concept in terms of how we retail over here, keeping in mind that we've got a Metro next door as well.
How do you retail differently when you're dealing with commuters, when you're dealing with people on a mission rather than just normal shoppers?
Yeah, well, the idea is that people want to come in and come out as fast as possible. That's the whole concept of Jacky's Express as well. And a lot of it has to do with it in terms of how you merchandise the products, how you keep the products. We've kept it a lot more open, the displays over here. We've got everything virtually on a touch and feel concept, whether it be cameras, mobiles, laptops, televisions, everything has been open. We've got huge entrances. We've got 3 entrances into the store. So it's one of those places you walk in and you walk out. Myself, growing up in Hong Kong, I've been part of the Metro system for years over there. I mean, this is something we grew up with. And the idea has always been that near a metro station, it's a meeting point. It's where people get together. And these are landmarks where people find each other. And then when they're there, this is what they look for as well.
It seems almost the opposite concept of a normal retailer, where you want to get people into your shop and you want to try and keep them there with lots of different things to go around, to browse and to play. But you're saying you want to get them in and out fast enough. So is this, do you think, going to suit this almost sightseeing model of the visitors around the Metro at the moment? I mean, people who are just there to browse. Are they actual purchasers?
Well, they are as well, because there is a lot of impulse that happens.
Did you actually sell a lot on the first day?
Yeah, we've had fantastic sales. I mean, compared to the store we've had when we were on level 2 and coming down to level 1, the first weekend has been great for us in terms of sales figures.
Can you give us an idea of what they are?
Well, it's being Ramadan, it's a little skewed at the moment, the figures, but we would probably have done about 35-40% more than what we would have done upstairs in our store.
How does it relate to the traditional style of store?
Well, the idea over here is...
I meant in terms of sales, I mean, compared to the normal walk-in and play around.
Well, in terms of the profile of customer, we've seen a big difference over here as well. When you're in a destination-type store, you're waiting for people to come in. Here you happen to be capitalizing on the footfall that happens to be walking through the mall, or walking through the Metro, or to and from the Metro, and capturing them over there. Now, a lot of it is in terms of products that are going to suit consumers on the Metro. For example, when you're on a Metro now, you've got a lot more time on your hands as compared to when you were driving. So this is where products like your PlayStation portables come into play. This is where your MP3 players get a lot more exciting. This is where portable DVD players get more exciting. This is where you see people playing on their mobiles a lot longer because they've got a lot more time on their hands. And these are the products that we try and push as well through stores like this.
How does the cost of space for being in the Metrolink, being in the walkway between the mall and the Metro, compare with normal in-mall rent?
Well, I wouldn't really be able to comment on that. I mean, we've had a long pre-existing relationship with the Majid Al Futtaim Group, and we have been in most of their shopping malls. So we have, of course, benefited from that relationship, and that's something that's there. But I guess for a new tenant, it will be something that they'll be able to answer more than us.
Is it more or less than the malls? The actual rent per square foot?
I wouldn't be able to say. For us, being pre-existing tenants, we were actually relocated, so we didn't have that much of a difference as far as our rentals went, but it may be with others.
Well, certainly in many cities around the world, the stores that are closest to transport links will have higher prices for everything from books to coffees because of the convenience. Have you raised your prices on goods because they're close to the Metro?
No. In fact, we're in an industry where we work on single-digit margins. And we thrive on being cost competitive. We've maintained the same price points over here. The idea is that we've got the products a lot more accessible.
Just in case people don't know what this is or what we're talking about here, where is the Metrolink and what is it?
Well, the Metrolink is basically the air conditioning link that connects the Mall of the Emirates to the Mall of the Emirates RTA metro station. The benefit over here is that this is actually the only air-conditioned link between a shopping mall and a metro station. The other shopping malls that have got metro stations near them aren't actually physically connected. You actually need to walk out onto the street and get into those metros from the metro station into the mall.
Well, what pattern have you seen so far, and what are you expecting? Are you expecting people to make their purchases on their way into the mall or on the way out?
Either way. I mean, for us...
What's been happening so far?
Well, it's been a combination of both. I think it's been a little early because a lot of the people who are going on the metro at the moment aren't people who would necessarily be on the metro all the time. The people who should be on the metro in the long term are the guys who we still want to get on there, and we haven't seen them yet. I think it's still a lot of people trying it out. It's something new. It's a place to be. It's something to do during Eid or before Eid. At the moment, we still have to let it stabilize and get the day-to-day traffic in and understand exactly what's happening over there.
Well, beyond the metro, how has Jacky's been business-wise in the past 8 or 9 months? What have you seen in Q1, Q2 this year?
Well, definitely the trends have changed a lot. Q1 wasn't a great quarter for anyone, I think, in retail over here. Definitely the lack of tourist footfall did play a part for us. But we have seen a lot of change in terms of buying habits. It's moved a lot towards value. Probably last year we were talking about fashion. It was the latest, it was the best, it was you must have it right now. Today it's about utility. When you need it, you buy it. It has to be at the right price, the right deal, the right value offering for the customer as well.
What sort of items are selling then?
Well, you still have products like your Blackberries, your smartphones, your mobiles, laptops, netbooks has been a fantastic category for us. LCD televisions have still been growing at double-digit rates. But we've also seen price points come down dramatically in the last 1 year, which has also helped increase this business.
We've seen a number of new electronics stores coming into the UAE over the past year and some aggressive expansion plans from the players that were already here. Do you think Dubai is becoming saturated when it comes to electronic stores?
Well, ultimately it's for the consumer to decide what they like. But the difference is that you've got different formats of stores coming in. It's like being in a grocery business. You've got your corner mom and pop stores, you've got your supermarkets, you've got your hypermarkets. They're different formats that suit different people, and people prefer different sort of formats. And this is what we're seeing within the electronics sector as well.
But we are reaching the stage where in a single mall on the same floor you can find sort of 7 or 8 stores in a row, and they are all selling roughly the same goods. But
this is what brings in the customer. The fact is, when I've got competition next to me, my sales improve. And we've seen this in certain malls when some of our competitors have shut down for renovations. Our sales actually drop because for the consumer there's one less reason to visit that mall and go to another mall where there is competition.
Well, I mean, you've come from Hong Kong. You know how sort of thriving the atmosphere and the electronics markets are in Hong Kong. And when I go to Hong Kong, people know every single thing about the product that they're selling. They can get me, if I like the model, they can offer me a cheaper one made in a different country. Instead of being made in Japan, it might be made in Malaysia, for instance. They can get it in about 3 or 4 minutes' time. It's a very, very, very good market, and you can negotiate some very good prices. Do you think international travellers are going to buy in Dubai when they can go to markets in the Far East?
Not necessarily, because Dubai has been very competitive. I mean, we as Jackies have a presence in the Far East as well, and we know the prices over there. We know exactly what's happening in Hong Kong and Singapore, and Dubai has been very competitive. In fact, when you look at it, even compared to markets in Europe, we don't have the VAT element over here. So this is another advantage that comes in over here.
So people coming from Europe not wanting to go as far as the Far East. I mean, in the Far East, of course, you've got the prices are lower or about the same, but for the very latest model, rather than here having slightly older models.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I don't think you've got older models over here. I mean, you've got things launching over here. You've got, for example, Windows 7 coming up in GITEX next month, launching over here, probably the same time, maybe a little earlier than the rest of the world. I mean, you've got things like that happening over here. A lot of brands are now putting their emphasis on this part of the world. And we had, for example, Samsung launch their Jet mobile phone. They had a global launch in 3 cities in the world. Dubai was one of them. So a lot of companies are now saying this is a place to be. This is where we know the business is growing. This is where the markets are. We want to have the products here as soon as we can.
Ashish Panjabi, the Chief Operating Officer at Jacky's group of companies, thank you very much for coming to the studio this morning.
Thank you.